President Trump, meantime, could sign an executive order as early as this week to punish banks that allegedly discriminate against conservatives, something Trump says he experienced himself. Listen.
JPMorgan Chase, I had hundreds of millions of dollars in cash, and they told me, I'm sorry, sir, we can't have you. You have 20 days to get out. I said, you got to be kidding. I've been with you for 35, 40 years. I call up Bank of America routinely, and when I called him after I was president to deposit $1 billion plus and a lot of other things, more importantly to open accounts, which banks always like, he said, we can't do it.
Sam Brownback, former senator and governor from the great state of Kansas, he founded a nonprofit that had its account closed by JPMorgan Chase just 3 weeks after opening it, and he joins us now. Governor, great to have you on the program. How desperately needed is this move by the president to prevent debanking?
It is desperately needed, and you know who needs it the most are the banks. They need to go back to being banks and not being manipulated to be social change agents or to favor one group or another or to be really political entities. They need to be commercial entities. They need to be banks and not these agents of change. And unfortunately, that's what too many of them have been manipulated and moved into doing.
In response to Trump's accusations, JPMorgan Chase said the following, quote, "We don't close accounts for political reasons, and we agree with President Trump that regulatory change is desperately needed. We commend the White House for addressing this issue and look forward to working with them to get this right." Not exactly denying it, in fact, kind of agreeing with what you said to an extent and using that catch-all phrase, not for political reasons. Is that similar to the excuse that they gave you when they basically closed the account of your religious nonprofit?
No, they gave me 5 different reasons at different times, and it ranged from, money laundering to you're a politically exposed figure. And at the end of the day, I still don't know why they closed the account. And I think they ought to look within their own system and ask, why did this happen? And let's prevent it from happening in the future. We want to be a bank that serves everybody. We don't want to be manipulated by regulators, which I think they are accurate on that point. We've really got to back the regulators out of being used and using commercial entities for really political points and political purposes.
To that point, I'm going to get to that. But first, I want to hear what the Bank of America's CEO said in response to Trump's allegations. Here's Brian Moynihan.
The president's after the right thing, which is the laws, rules, and regulations around our industry became used to cause things to happen. We got to stop the regulators behind the scenes of whipsawing back and forth and forcing our companies and companies like ours to make decisions which Congress hasn't passed on or he hasn't passed on.
Okay, to your point and to Brian's point, our own Charlie Gasparino reporting that JPMorgan and Bank of America debanked Trump over January 6th because of threats from Biden's bank regulators and his Federal Reserve. I was told the Federal Reserve was nonpartisan, but I digress. An executive at JPMorgan telling Gasparino that regulators put the fear of God in you if you did business with conservatives like Trump. Your reaction, Governor?
I'm very disappointed. I think this is a complete misuse of regulation. I think this is the use of regulation to try to accomplish things through a business that you couldn't get accomplished or passed through the legislative process. If you want to make these changes, take them into Congress. Don't bank it in through a bank. And a bigger picture here is really this effort to suffocate industries and groups and ideologies that you don't like through the commercial system. That's not what the commercial system is about. The commercial system is about being a great bank. It's about being an insurance company. It's not about trying to be this and use it as a social change agent. We really have got to back these regulators out of this. And there needs to be statutory changes, not just the executive orders. Those can be changed by a future president. There needs to be statutory changes, particularly of disclosure as to why these accounts are closed.
Well, Republicans have Congress right now. Let's see if they can do something with it to do exactly what you and, quite frankly, Brian Moynihan said needs to be done. It needs to be codified by Congress. Let's see if they get it done. Sam Brownback, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.